22 years and 2 months ago, a Spider-Man series was born featuring teenagers addicted to sex, depression, and its extreme consequences, explicit deaths like decapitations, real blood, not alien blood, real guns firing caliber bullets, and more things. For these very reasons, it was canceled and nearly erased from existence. Luckily, Jack Sparrow sails the internet and makes it easier for us to find this treasure. To kick off this short one-season story with 13 episodes, it's best to break down the 3 main characters, as they are the most interesting part of the series. We have the trio of Peter Parker, Mary Jane Watson, and Harry Osborn. They've had to become independent to face their new college lives, dealing with different financial situations and distinct personalities. But regardless of this, each one must battle their inner demons. Harry struggles with the death of his father. First, because he never got the paternal love he craved from Norman Osborn, and second, because he saw the supposed killer of his father with his own eyes, who remains free without facing the consequences Harry deems just. Of course, this thirst for vengeance keeps him disturbed, as it remains unfulfilled. And yes, you heard that right. This series follows certain events from the first Spider-Man movie, the goat of the big screen. This is because Sony wanted to capitalize on the media explosion from the 2002 movie, so throughout the video you'll notice more connections to that film, closing with the blonde heartthrob Harry. It's worth mentioning that as an only child he inherited his father's entire empire, so at a young age he has to manage Oscorp Industries and all that comes with it. MJ, or better known as the redhead who turns Peter's world upside down, had a dysfunctional childhood with Peter. When I was little and my parents fought, I would lock myself in my closet and imagine I was a stowaway on a ship. It was dirty and cold, but I was happy because I wasn't trapped at home. She carried these traumatic scars into adulthood, now suffering from an unhealthy emotional dependency. She's drawn to the first man who gives her the security she never had, and usually she ends up hurt by her failed relationships. At 18, no one can provide what she's looking for, as most people her age are dealing with the same issues and are too immature for anything serious. The only somewhat positive thing is that she developed acting skills from a young age. She needed to imagine another reality to escape her bitter one, and now she aspires to a prominent acting career. The catch is that she'll have to navigate a murky path of interests, excess, and power. You'd think Peter is the most grounded and least problematic of the group, but on the contrary, due to the deaths of his parents and Uncle Ben, the only family he has left is his elderly Aunt May. So he's forced to push forward no matter what. He dedicates his life to studying, especially now that he's in college, and wants to excel in his career for better job opportunities. Plus, he has his freelance photography job at the Daily Bugle, where he earns peanuts served on a dirty plate with used utensils. However, this small income helps him save and achieve small goals. The issue is that his life is incredibly tangled and stressful. Add to that his responsibility as the anonymous Spider-Man, and you have a Peter with zero social life and an unstable emotional state. Especially since none of these things go well for him. Not his grades due to his chaotic life, not his photography job because of the miserly pay from J. Jonah Jameson, and not his role as a vigilante for his city due to his inexperience as a hero. The best development this series offers is the romance between Peter and Mary Jane. Peter is in love with MJ, and MJ doesn't hide her desire for Peter to make the first move, so much so that she often throws herself at Peter. Don't you ever act on your impulses? Sometimes. And you? Always. And yet, Peter fails to pick up on her hints because, well, he's clueless. He just doesn't want to confess his feelings to Mary Jane and get rejected. When MJ has a conversation with Spider-Man, referencing their kiss in Spider-Man 2002, she tells him she already has another man in her life, one she appreciates but is a total idiot who doesn't get her hints. Of course, Spidey is Peter, so Peter finally understands the hints and confesses his feelings to the redhead. Mary Jane, Harry, like all great men, knows actions speak louder than words. Oh, don't tell me. In that case, however, Peter's problems start to pile up. Mary Jane has landed acting opportunities in small theater productions. For her, it's a big step toward her dream. So she wants her boyfriend to come see her and support her at every rehearsal if possible. The issue is that Peter never shows up, always claiming he has something more important to do. It's worth noting that Mary Jane doesn't know Peter is Spider-Man, so her disappointment has no justification. Oh, why am I even telling you? I already know you won't come. The CIA might call you for an extremely secret mission. Peter feels guilty and finally attends one of Mary Jane's rehearsals, but this time, he's the one who gets slapped. Mary Jane is now dating her co-star. Still, MJ's tears show she still considers Peter a great guy. She even compares him to her ex-boyfriend Harley, implying that despite his losses, Peter didn't let it consume him like Harley did. Thanks for letting me do that. Anytime, Mary Jane. However, this rejection sets their relationship back several steps. MJ feels free to keep flirting with Spider-Man. If it weren't for the fact that they're the same person, both would be total cheaters. But MJ's actions are justified. Peter may be a great guy, but he doesn't give her the security of being mutually appreciated. Just to give you an idea, MJ was almost assaulted by a sick producer, and Peter had no clue what could have happened. Still, these two are burning with desire for each other, so much so that they spy on couples making out to satisfy their fetishes. Peter, stay still. Isn't that illegal? Depends on what they're doing. But things get even spicier when Peter is smitten by an aspiring reporter named Indira Dimanji, with whom he instantly connects due to their shared qualities. MJ notices Peter's interest in another girl and immediately takes the initiative to invite him to the movies. Selfish Peter Parker accepts, but then goes to give Indy a gift, and as usual, he gets caught in a terrorist raid. Obviously, he misses his date with Mary Jane, and she's furious, just like her hair color, but she finds out he's been taken hostage and feels sorry for him, though her beautiful red heart breaks when she sees the jerk planting a big kiss on his competition. Peter? Despite all this, MJ still tries to patch things up with him. She asks him to write down their deepest emotions to share and strengthen their bond. MJ confesses that, as a child, when her parents fought, she would lock herself in the closet and imagine being in a more peaceful place. And what does the idiot confess? I'll read yours? No, better not. I can't believe what you wrote. I confess that no one else in the world knows I'm allergic to, fish. I was completely and utterly honest with him, and he tells me about fish. No doubt Peter must have a big Parker. Anyway, Peter is crazy about Indy, especially as their relationship progresses. Indy is something else. Peter, it's Indy. What are you doing? Flying to college. I've got something hot and spectacular for you. I have a class in the afternoon, but I'll make it worth your time. Count me in. It was for work, or what did you think? Indy keeps Peter on his toes, so all MJ can do is pretend she's accepted it. She lets him be free and even wants to support his relationship, but she quickly realizes Peter has a strong connection with the competition, so she gets insanely jealous and explodes at her. This action is unjustifiable because Indy didn't steal her man. Peter the idiot Parker chose Indy over Mary Jane. So MJ goes to Peter's apartment to apologize for her verbal attack. However, her little red heart breaks again when she sees Indy was at Peter's place, where they probably played Minecraft and streamed on Twitch, hence the jealousy. And that's not okay. Hi Mary Jane, you wanted us all to be friends, right? I think I'd better go. I was already leaving. That color looks great on you. Alright, we're nearing the end and it seems we've forgotten about Peter's heroic side. The thing is, the villains in this short story are the least interesting part. Still, you're probably itching to know which villains appeared, so let's get to it. In the first episode, we have a Rastafarian who wants to enforce his own justice because his apartment is being demolished. Spidey quickly discovers he's a narcissistic fraud and exposes him to his crowd of protesters. Of course, not without punching him good. Ah, what a hard head. In the second episode, Spidey is tricked into stealing an important piece of technology. The villain this time is Kingpin's lackey. Spidey figures it out and doesn't hesitate to beat him up for the deception, especially since it made him miss Mary Jane's performance. In the third episode, we have Dr. Connors and his missing arm. Connors turns into the Lizard, and Spidey has to help him cure himself. The interesting part is that the Lizard breaks free from Spidey's webbing and falls to his death, literally splattering on the pavement. In the fourth episode, we have a sexy ninja girl who's older than Grandma Coco, but she regains her youth from the moonlight, reflecting on her sacred sword. When she encounters a worthy rival like Spidey, she prepares for an honorable fight to the death with him, though, well, the one who ends up dead is Shikata, as MJ and Spidey break her sword. In the fifth episode, we have Cheyenne, a thief who doesn't obey laws or risks, until she gets shot in the thigh and stops acting punk. In the sixth episode, some Russian terrorists want to eliminate Spider-Man for a crazy reason. Spidey grants their wish but sends them to jail with a good beating. In the seventh episode, a schizophrenic girl obsessed with Spider-Man appears. She even believes he speaks to her through images. Her obsession is so intense that she jumps off a skyscraper to get Spidey to save her. He saves her multiple times, but the girl's jealousy of MJ drives her to madness. Luckily, she survives, and Spidey sends her to a mental institution. In the eighth episode, we have Max Dillon, a super mega hyper pathetic guy who's constantly abused. The breaking point is when his bullies invite him to a college party and play another cruel prank on him. By chance, he turns into Electro and takes revenge on his tormentors, especially the ringleader whom he fries alive with his electric powers. Yes, he definitely toasted and killed him. However, unintentionally, he starts hurting innocent people and Spidey has to stop him. In the ninth episode, the dumb Flash Thompson wants to be more intellectual and takes an intelligence-enhancing drug. Everything gets crazy and marijuana-like. So Spidey has to save the idiot who gave him the drug and also consume some of Flash's. This series is so wild, which is why it was cancelled. In the 10th episode, Silver Sable wants to kidnap the mayor, but she realizes Peter recorded her and becomes obsessed with finding him to erase the evidence. Naturally, Spidey fixes the situation and prevents Silver Sable from kidnapping both the mayor and Peter. In the 11th episode, Electro returns, more electric than ever. He electrocutes his favorite teacher, manipulates a university classmate, and gives Spider-Man a hard time. However, Spidey gives it his all to finally stop the outcast. I hope this ends your pain, Max. He also redeems himself in the eyes of his best friend behind the mask. Harry begins to heal his hatred for Spider-Man, seeing him as the hero he is. In the 12th and 13th episodes, we have the telepathic twins. Well, let's get to it now. We've reached the end. And for this finale, the telepathic twins steal the show. The twins are being transported to a maximum security prison. But the cop who is ugling the twin sister, the girl has a nice body. Yes, and she's sweet. Easily falls under the twins' mind control. They force him to kill his fellow officer and free them from their chains. However, Spidey arrives at the scene and stops the twins. It seems like everything's over. Too short, right? Well, not at all. It turns out the twins managed to control Spidey's mind, making him believe his most dangerous enemies have escaped prison to take revenge on him. The most tragic part is that he sees Kraven murder Mary Jane Watson, 1984 to 2003. Now you understand why I've always hated Spider-Man. Yes, I understand. Peter's mind becomes consumed with vengeance, and he sets out to kill Kraven. The twist is that it's all a manipulation by the twins to get him to eliminate the hunter. Kraven killed their parents, and they want revenge by using someone capable of defeating him. Spidey faces the hunter, and even Kraven notices Spider-Man has changed since their last encounter. He now has a cold, determined look, ready to kill. Before strangling him, Spidey realizes the twins controlled him and made him believe all this madness, so he first makes sure of Mary Jane's location. When he realizes the twins have kidnapped her, he goes after them to make them pay. However, the twins trick him again, making him throw Indira Daimonji from a considerable height. Look what you've done, hero. No, Indy. No, what have I done? Hold on, Indy. Please. His mind is filled with the idea of making the twins pay. Spidey heads to the warehouse where they're hiding. He injects the twin Roland with morphine to incapacitate him, and he subdues the twin Roxanne until she crashes into a propane tank. Done. Peter gets his revenge, but not his victory. The trauma of severely injuring Indy and tarnishing the heroic image he always tried to protect leaves him no room to think about his relationship with Mary Jane. So, he pushes her away. All he wants is to bury his past to ease the guilt that won't let him move on with his life. Too bad no one told me being a superhero is an impossible game to win, or that my loved ones would always suffer more. Some hold grudges against me. And others, who tried to give me so much, ended up losing everything. I don't want to cause anyone more pain. It's time to say goodbye, Spider-Man. And that's the end of this dark and twisted Spider-Man story. Alright folks, that's it for our dive into the wild and twisted Spider-Man, the new animated series. Whether you loved it or were just shocked, this series definitely left its mark. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on more animated deep dives. Let me know in the comments, what did you think of this series? Should we explore more forgotten gems? Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay awesome.